Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the program. Barb, we're heading into that summer selling season. You're out there selling homes all of the time. What are you seeing in the market about negotiations, and how can you help our listeners win when it comes to negotiating a price?
Well, I think the public assumes that agents are well trained on negotiating. And I can tell you for a fact they're not. It's 1 month of school to be a real estate agent. And there's almost no training on the things that they expect us to know. The market, marketing, negotiating, handling objections, closing, and the process. A lot of them they passed a test, they go hang their license with a broker, and they get treated just like I was treated. Go sell, figure it out. And I'm like, okay. So it hasn't changed much over the years. It's really unfortunate. But the public thinks that you know exactly what you're doing on the negotiating front. So like my favorite thing is to find a way to get multiple offers and then play one against the other and try to get the most money. But it's interesting to hear what is said. Now, you have to assume that pretty much everywhere you're going to be on camera somewhere. I mean, one of my employees got a ticket driving the moving van. There's her face right there running a red light. And it comes to my office, thank you very much, with her face on it. So there's cameras everywhere. And I think it's a really good idea for home sellers to put up cameras both inside and outside their home, because some of the stuff that's said is extraordinary. I was talking to a seller this morning about how shocked he was at what was said about the home, what was said about its value. They said something about, well, all that mulch in the yard, that's just going to blow away. And he's like, no, it doesn't blow away. He's lived in the house since it was new. He's like, where is he coming up with this stuff? Why is he making up that stuff when he's showing it to a buyer? And I said, I don't know. I think the agents are trying to position themselves as experts. I used to do that, but I would only talk about what I knew something about, just because I'd been through a whole bunch of new construction walkthroughs where they explain the framing and how the furnace and the water heater work and stuff like that. But I wouldn't just make stuff up to sound like I'm an expert. Or they'll stand out on the deck and they'll see a little bit of peeling paint and go, oh, this thing won't be financed for VA. I'm like, yes, it will. It just needs to be repaired. And it doesn't say that the seller has to do it. It says they just have to notify you. So I don't think a lot of agents really understand or pay attention to what's in the contract very much. So at the end of the day, the reason why they make mistakes, I think they're trying to make themselves look good and establish their value, because really it's part of the transaction, paying their fee, but they don't know how to do it. So they just come up with stuff. And I got one on that same property just a few weeks ago. The agent took the time to take 87 pictures of the quality of the paint and asked for fresh paint within the offer. It wasn't even part of the inspection objection. Now, 87 pictures, I mean, that would take me at least an hour, right? But it didn't work out for them. They didn't get the house, somebody else did. But at the end of the day, when you decide on pricing, that will, if you price appropriately, that will put you in a position to win. Now, in general, as far as the buyer front, they have to be prepared to make an offer. And sometimes I see buyers asking for stuff in the negotiations that are really not appropriate. Like, we've had a huge crowd at the open house. We got multiple offers. They know there are multiple offers. So they get under contract. And then after they do the inspection, they're asking for all these upgrades. That is not part of the sales process. It's appropriate for a buyer to ask for repairs on broken things. But in my view, it's not appropriate for them to ask for upgrades. Like, I want new carpet. I've had them ask for new carpet. I've had them ask for granite counters. I've had them ask for new windows. I've had them ask for new plumbing systems and even a new roof without any documentation that there were defects in these. And my favorite is the whole mold wand thing where they come in and go, oh, it has mold. And there's mold everywhere, inside and out. I don't think any house is mold free, but their inspector came up with this test that said there was mold in the carpet. And it's like, okay, but it's priced $75,000 below similar sales. So you're actually expecting at that low price, you're going to get all that new stuff too. So it's just a part of it is the agents don't know how to manage expectations. They just become overpaid messengers where they fill out a 10-minute contract. They may or may have not shown the house. In this case, they weren't there with their buyer. And then they ask for all this junk without saying, hey, wait, this is a party foul. Is it appropriate for you to ask for all new stuff? They probably don't even know what the market value of the home actually was. So those kind of things can be interesting. And I think the seller takes a look at a contract logically and says, all right, I've got a buyer that wants to buy. If you have more than one buyer that wants to buy, that's even better if you're a home seller, because you can actually pick, which one is the best offer for me. You can work and negotiate on terms. I got a few offers recently where it was pretty clear to me that even though the agent said multiple times, the same agent that did not show the house, that the buyers really loved the house. I think we broke up over the agent's commission, and that's a problem because they got in the way or they talked the buyer out of that house for some reason. And it's too bad. At the end of the day, buyers kind of remember. I mean, the whole idea behind real estate is you build your business on repeat and referral business over time. How are you going to do that if you didn't get the client what they wanted? And there are times when a seller will accept a lower offer simply because the terms of the offer are better than another one that might be higher. Like I had one a few months ago where we had 3 offers. The highest offer was asking for a lot of closing cost. So it wasn't the best offer. It actually netted the seller less money. However, they didn't take that offer. And actually that buyer was willing to pay more. They didn't write that offer, but their agent told them, oh, don't worry. I'm sure the seller will definitely counter your offer over everybody else's offer. And they did not. So they got mad at me. I'm like, I'm not even the decision maker. So I'm not sure the agents even understand what's going on. So strong offers typically make the sellers react more favorably. Just yesterday, I had somebody that looked at one of my listings a few days ago. It was obvious they loved it. So when I reached out to the agent to find out what their buyer thought, because she didn't give feedback through the system, which is fine, she came back and said, well, they liked it, but I'm not sure about the neighborhood and I can't find similar sales. So already, before her buyer who loves the house is making an offer, she's trying to find a way to justify a lower price. Well, how did you come up with that number? So I sent her comparable sales. And I'm not an idiot. I went to appraiser school and passed. I do home valuations. I'm usually fairly close to being right hundreds of times every single year. And she's like trying to convince her buyer either to get a different house or to offer less on that house. So she's already getting in the way of the transaction. I see that happen all the time. And also, I'm pretty shocked many times when all the agents involved are told there are multiple offers, but the offers don't appear to be their best offer, right? They know they're up against competition, but they don't even come in at full price. They come in below asking price. And it's like, what are you thinking? That doesn't make any sense. I actually, on Sundays, like I get a half a day off on Sunday. And I don't know about you, Richard, but I need that time my patience wears thin for dumb questions. And this agent sent me a text and she goes, should I waste my time writing an offer on this home? And you just have to fill out a form online. It really doesn't take much time. And I couldn't resist. I couldn't hold my tongue on text, but I said, really? Is it worth 10 minutes of your time to make $10,000? Come on. You know, if the public knew that, the people that work regular hourly jobs, that how much we get paid for what little many agents do, I don't think they'd want to pay it. I think there'd be a lot more buyers going directly to the listing agent because they don't understand that the agent doesn't want to spend 10 minutes filling out an online form fill to make 3%, which could be anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. Is it a waste of her time? And I didn't get a response back from that text. Do you think that was rude, Richard?
No, I have faith in you, and you have to deal with so many different types of people. That's why I recommend and I want you on my team and on the team of the people who are listening here today, because you do what needs to be done, but your goal is always the person you're representing.
Right. And then the other morning, this one lit me off like a firecracker. I'm on my merry way to my next appointment, and this agent calls and she goes, I just sent you an offer, and you have 1 hour to respond. And I'm like, what? Did I hear that right? And you have to think about what it takes to present an offer. Now, I don't know. Some people may do it in less than an hour, but it's a 26-page contract with all kinds of legal things within it. And I have to be able to go meet with the client, present it to the client, get their feedback, prepare a counter proposal. That always takes more than 1 hour. And typically it could take, reasonable expectation to get a response on an offer is 24 hours. Many times I get offers from agents on the weekends, on a Saturday night, expecting to answer on Sunday morning. And if the deadline falls on a weekend or a holiday, it will not go over to the next business day. And so I have to drop everything I'm doing on the weekend and scramble to answer their offer on behalf of the client. And this, I believe their strategy is, oh, well, if we sneak our offer in there really fast, no one else will get the house. In this particular case, they never updated the offer. In fact, they withdrew the offer. So by the time I had a chance to look at it, because I had a full day that day, and be able to present it to the client in a timely manner, it was already withdrawn. So what does that tell me? It's just a game. The buyer, if they really wanted the house, they would be reasonable and give plenty of response time. Don't you think?
I think absolutely. And I have to say, when you're looking at a contract like that, I'm a former trial attorney. Even at my best, there's no way I could look at a document like that, ascertain and analyze it in anything short of 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, it takes time. It's just like, how inconsiderate and stupid are you? So anyway, I get those things happen to me all the time, but that's kind of why I'm still in the game. Is it's really fun. When it happened, I'm like, this is awesome. Now, it made me mad, but I'm like, congratulations, your really stupid story just made the show, because it's unbelievable that somebody would say something like that and think that that was okay. Anyway, my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the show. And we're talking about why many agents fail to negotiate. When we come back, we're going to touch on a few other items that might be of interest to you. Richard.
Welcome back. Barb, we're discussing how to negotiate a real estate deal and win in this market without appearing on Barb's show. Tell us about that, if you would.
Well, I think, first of all, if you avoid pricing too high, if you price it realistically, the market is going to tell you right away if you got it wrong or if you got it right. If you're getting lots of showings, lots of questions, lots of requests, that means you priced it right. If you're not getting very many showings or no showings at all, the buyer population has rejected your home. But if you do it right, especially in the first 2 weeks of it being on the market, the buyers are excited. They don't want to miss out on that home because they love what they see. And then if you get multiple offers, it's just awesome because you have the ability to look at the offers, decide which one's the best one for you, and go from there. Not everybody has the opportunity to do this on a regular basis. We do, but a lot of agents make assumptions when they write offers. Oh, it's okay. Go ahead and ask for the seller to pay 25 or 30,000 in closing costs, so the buyer gets a lower rate. How would that sit with you, Richard?
I'm amazed sometimes at the things that you hear. And for people out there, you just need to understand you can't go and in 1 month of real estate school, yes, they'll give you the license, but there's no way that you can be prepared honestly to get out there to market or negotiate or go through all of the more than 25 years of experience that you've got looking out for people and one of the biggest assets that they've ever had.
Well, thank you, Richard. And we love helping clients buy and sell their largest assets. We know it's important to them, and we want to make sure that we get it to the finish line. And the serious buyers are going to come through and they're going to close. The ones that are not serious, the ones that write stupid offers, or write an offer and then pull back, they're not really in love with the house. It's probably a good thing that you don't go under contract with those people, because you don't want them to tie up the property, create all kinds of demand destruction, and then they're going to walk away anyway. They have 8 different ways to back out of a contract during the process. So the best case is to have a buyer that's in love, that wants the house and is willing to stick the process through. And you can tell by the quality of their offer and their response to the offer response whether or not that's going to happen. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, simply call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. Barb will be back in just a little bit. We'll be discussing why some homes sell quickly while others do not.